New day, new drama. We had just left our anchorage for the night, been motoring for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Hadn't even made it back out to the channel, and I smelled some kind of a rubbery smell in the engine room. And I'm pretty sure I already know what this is. I suspect that it is the engine belt that is too loose. Because I saw, before we left, sort of this, you know, some amount of this rubbery black dusty stuff on the alternator, and you know, kind of suspected something might be going on there, but you know, the owner had just motored this thing from Virginia basically, so I didn't think much of it. However, this belt, if I can get the light on it, maybe how it right there, whoop, 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 whoop. That to me is entirely too loose. So yeah, I think it's just a loose belt, so I'm going to tighten up that alternator, and hopefully that will be all of the drama for today. Oh, I see the problem. The arm, this metal arm that the alternator is mounted to is actually a little loose. So let's get that tightened up first. Oh yeah, the bolt is just completely wiggly right there. I think that's actually the real problem. So, let's see. Sorry, the lighting's crazy. So, this is the arm that the alternator is mounted to, and it was, see if we can get the light right, see that bolt right back there? It was very, very loose, and this whole arm was just kind of flopping up and down. It's kind of impressive. It had as much tension as it had on it, but I've got it tightened up quite a bit now, so I think we should be good to go. One more time. Here we go again.
Here we go.
That's some crazy power.
Here we have Benjamin getting into the middle tank, diesel tank.
For the second time.
For the second time. Actually, I think it's the third.
It may be the third. It all just runs together. So this tank is not hooked up to the deck fill or the engine. And not long ago there was not fuel in it when the owner, I keep saying owner like, you know, again, we're buying this boat. So the owner, when he left Virginia, it was empty. Yet, when he filled up one time, a bunch of diesel got into it, possibly from a vent from the other tanks or whatever. But anyways, I'm trying to get as much of this diesel out of here during this trip. Because, I mean, it's going to have to be gotten out one way or another. It can't just stay in this unused tank. I do want to, you know, eventually get this tank hooked up so that we can use it, but I'd rather be burning this diesel, you know, on our trip to Green Cove Springs. So that's why I am pumping it out with a bucket and this thing, and dumping it back in the tanks.
Here's your cup.
Yep.
It's wet. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, dry it out.
Just dump it out the rest of the way. This is a very deep tank. Still going down, still going down, still going down. And it's not even touching the bottom. It's way down there. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm gonna have to hang on. Okay, so I've pumped as much diesel as I can out of this center tank. There's still a little bit down there in the bottom, like, I mean, just very, very little, but really I feel like most of what I sucked out of the last couple buckets was probably water. But I've got a good idea of how the water probably got in. And I don't know if I've already mentioned this or not, but see, this hose right here is actually the vent, or a vent, to one or more of the water tanks. So center fuel tank, starboard, port, and then underneath my feet here going across are the water tanks. So what I think happened is, you know, the tank was filled up, the water started pouring out of here, and if you look underneath here, you can see how the tank is pretty well, you know, kind of sealed against this strip of wood that goes all the way around it. I mean, it creates kind of this this area where, you know, an inch of water can just stand on top of this tank. Now, it would probably eventually kind of go over the sides through cracks, but, you know, while it's pooled there, it might be able to make its way through, you know, one of these inspection plates that's not quite sealed completely. There's another one way back there, you can't quite see it. So, and I think that also, this same kind of scenario probably happened on the tank that's actually under there as well. I don't know, trying to figure this stuff out. But that's my hypothesis. Tambi's being very patient with me, making the boat smell like diesel while I'm trying to move this stuff around and clean out these tanks and all that stuff. So thank you, honey.
Oh, you're doing all the work.
I know, but I still appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you too.
Alright, I went to get going this morning, and this filter is already pretty much clogged. I actually changed it. You're looking at the new filter that already has loads of gunk in it. And this one over here, whenever I press the prime on the engine, look at all that gunk coming out. That's basically coming from the fuel tank. So we've got a problem. Okay, so the situation now is that I basically feel like we have, I hope I'm not being redundant, I'm kind of frazzled. We have 3 contaminated fuel tanks now, contaminated with water. There is some minor crud in there, I think from dirt daubers that were in the vent line, but I think we got water in the tanks. I also have water all the way up to the engine now, so I don't want to continue trying to just turn this over. But really the priority now is I need to get the boat moved, and I need to get at least one clean fuel tank that we can run off of, and of course I need to get this engine you know, cleaned out, because I undid 2 of the injectors, and sitting right there on the you know, just the inlet there to the injector, it's basically white, not red. So it's not a good thing. So for the first time ever, we're about to use TOWBOAT. TOWBOAT US. Thankfully we picked up a policy before we left. Okay, we have sea-tow lined up. Never done this before, so this is going to be a new experience. But I'm very glad that they're able to help us out. We're just having to get towed to a different anchorage. Thankfully, there's some friends of ours that are in Port Canaveral right now, and I think he's going to help us to, you know, figure out a fuel polishing setup, something like that, because that's really what needs to happen. We got to get clean fuel in at least one of these tanks, and then get the engine, you know, cleared out and ready to go again. But let me show you why this is such a big deal, because like this is the wind for tomorrow. As you can see, it spikes up there starting at about 7 a.m. until 4. It goes up, you know, gusting around, you know, mid-20s, something like that, which isn't just insane, but it's a really bad direction, because right now the wind is blowing us away from that bridge right there, but when the wind switches, it will be blowing from that way, and there's just miles and miles of fetch. And then we would end up being, once the boat swung around, we would be just dangerously close to that bridge. So that's where the stress is coming from. But thankfully we have a tow lined up. Not, you know, not out of the weeds yet, but out of the woods, out of the weeds. I don't know what the saying is. We're in the weeds or the woods right now, I don't know which, but we're trying to get out. Fun fact. Titusville Municipal Marina is like less than a mile away, and they have mooring balls, which would be very convenient for this particular situation. However, they don't allow a disabled vessel to be towed in to get a mooring ball. It's just their policy. I explained the whole situation with them about the wind and how this isn't like some kind of derelict vessel that's going to just be stuck on a mooring ball forever. But yeah, they had no remorse for our situation. And the other marinas in the area just don't have space. There's two other ones in the area. I don't remember the names now, but I called one that didn't have space. I called another one and they haven't returned our call. But it's too shallow in that other marina, so just not many options around here. Doing the best we can. So we found this little shop vac in the boat, running it off our little battery box here. I'm trying to come up with a little hose system that I can use to kind of suck some of the water out of the engine. So like fabricating this little reducer hose out of duct tape. Sea tow guy is supposed to be here in an hour and a half. That's what they said the ETA is. So they try calling you on the phone first, and then they call you on the radio if that doesn't work. So this is some Macgyvering happening here. But see, like, even if we got this thing running now, I just don't feel safe and running off of just the garbage that's in the tanks.
Yeah, for the next 3 days.
Water's the main problem, and I think I'm so tired of talking about it, honestly. But my theory is that the water came in from those vent hoses from the water tank sitting on top of the fuel tanks. I just don't know where else it could have come in from, unless the owner got just a load of water in the fuel somehow. But that's so unlikely. And the deck fill thing has a good O-ring on it, so I'm just kind of lost. That's all I can do. I honestly, I doubt that actually helped a whole lot at all, but I don't know what else to do at this point. I wonder if I could take off those cover plates if there's a better access, but I don't think there really is, but I don't know. I gotta get somebody in here that knows more about this stuff than I do. Okay. You know, it's not all bad. It's kind of nice to experience the waves gently lapping against the hull without the sound of the engine noise. That's kind of the sound of sirens in the distance and the gentle hum of a towboat motor. But no diesel engine sound. Doing okay?
Sure.
Sure.
Just gotta make the best of what we've got.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing when the sailboats are passing us by, Tambi, while we're being towed.
Yeah.
Look at you over there. Look at you sailing all smug with your smugness. Jeez. Salami and cheese. We have a little fridge down there that we brought with us, and we're eating everything out of it because we don't know when we're going to be able to make power next. Oh crap, there goes our towboat. Oh no, there's our towboat. We actually had to swap. Apparently it's like there's this jurisdiction area, so this guy just swapped us off with this guy.
So Ben, apparently only the south side of the bridge opens.
Look at this bridge, yeah. Good grief. I mean, there's plenty of room. Well, when I say plenty, there's not as much margin as I would like for there to be in this situation.
The towboat guy didn't seem to
no, he seemed
be too concerned.
He seemed pretty cool, but he's up there and we're back here.
Oh yeah. We made it. Thank you.
Okay, so I need to make a clip to add a little bit of context. Otherwise, the next time you see Tambi and she's all crying and distraught and that kind of thing, it's just not going to make much sense whatsoever. So let me explain why this day was so stressful. So what you're looking at here is a map of sort of the Port Canaveral to Titusville area. So let me zoom in here on the Titusville area, and I will show you that we were actually anchored right here, just north of this railroad lift bridge, and we were trying to get a mooring just right down here, just outside of the Titusville Municipal Marina. And this distance is only about 2 miles. So we tried calling those guys at Titusville Municipal Marina, and they would not give us a mooring. We tried explaining what the situation was and that we were only going to be there for a few days, and they just did not have any mercy on us whatsoever. So we had to go with an alternative plan. Instead of going to a known safe mooring ball there that was 2 miles away, we instead had to get towed 25 miles from Titusville up here all the way back down through the river, through this canal system, and then end up right here just outside of Port Canaveral. So at Port Canaveral, our plan was to anchor in this little anchorage right here. So let me zoom in on this and I'll show you kind of what happened when we got here. So this was the anchorage we were hoping to be dropped off at because it was going to put us within range of our friend Josh, who could use this little access road here to get out to the boat and help us out. We were hoping to actually anchor right behind this little break wall here to block the north wind that was coming. But this whole area is just full of derelict boats. In this satellite picture, you see like 6 or 7 of them, but there's actually like 20 or 30 in there. So we tried anchoring instead just right here in this area. So we tried setting the hook, and it was a wind blowing from the south at the time. And we just drug anchor all the way back into this channel. And he brought us back up, and we drug anchor all the way back into this channel. We tried this several times to get the hook to set, and we just could not get it to set. And this is when Tambi really started getting, worked up and emotional, because she thought, and I guess I thought too, that eventually the towboat guy was just going to have to drop us off somewhere and just, leave us on our own and hope for the best kind of thing. But fortunately, the towboat guy and our friend Josh ended up making arrangements for us over here at the Port Canaveral Yacht Club. And normally this is a pretty exclusive place where they don't let a bunch of boats in, especially ones that are not working right, And I do understand. I get it. They don't want boats going into their marina that are never going to be able to leave and not be able to pay their slip fees and that kind of thing. I get it. But between the towboat guy and our buddy Josh, we were able to snag a slip here at the Port Canaveral Yacht Club. So the towboat guy, he brought us in through this lock here, underneath this opening bridge here, and then ended up depositing us into this slip right here. So this is where we're going to be in this next clip that you look at. But yeah, I just wanted to add a bit of context because you'll see Tambi's, she's pretty shook up, and without that little explanation of, everything we had kind of gone through this day, it wouldn't have made much sense. So I hope that makes more sense.
All right, so we got a little bit of an update. We got to our anchorage and we couldn't get the hook set. We were dragging, and the wind that's coming in tomorrow, we have a lot of fetch in front of us, so we wouldn't be able to anchor here anyway because it would be bad wind. Anyway, it's kind of been a stressful situation today. Ben has been dealing with it amazingly, and I'm trying not to cry. So towboat guys got us. Hopefully we're trying to get into a marina now. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
And we're tied up to a dock. Finally. Very long, stressful day, but we're tied up. Towboat guy did amazing. Hope to never have to do that again though, but it was an interesting experience.
There were about 6 people who saw us coming in, and they were all
yeah,
standing on the dock. And
yeah, so many people. Thank goodness they were here too, because it was a sketchy situation, because the wind is blowing. It's like right on the beam, blowing us over that way. But we should be able to sort out the diesel issue here. I know one thing that I definitely realized is this boat needs more cleats and fair leads, because right now there's just this one here and one like right there. This boat needs like a midship cleat somewhere in this area, and it also needs something way back there on the back, for sure, because this isn't an ideal situation. Is it?
No. And as soon as we got here and all these people were being so generous and helpful, like, I just started crying. Like,
did you really?
I did. There were tears. And
I didn't even know that, babe.
It's been such a stressful day.
It has been very hard. It's been hard. I mean, we've had some interesting days out there, but this ranks very highly up there. By the way, we tried. I can't remember if I told you or not. I'm losing track of everything.
I kind of.
Wait, hang on, let me get this one. So, all right. So there was a little anchorage out there, outside of this marina, and we tried anchoring out there, but the anchor was dragging like crazy. And what you have to understand is this is super stressful, trying to anchor, being blown all over the place while tied to a towboat, and the towboat's being blown all over the place. But we were dragging anchor, and we did not think that we were going to be able to get anywhere else. There was nowhere else to anchor around here. So that's why we ended up getting at this marina. So special thanks to Josh and Marissa Long for setting this thing up for us. Long Hull Outfitters, that's their business. Really good friends, and man, thank you very much for those guys. You're probably going to be seeing them too, because they're going to help us sort out this fuel issue. Anything else you want to say, babe? Sorry, didn't want to cut you off. I wanted to get that thought out.
I was just going to say, while you guys were dragging anchor, I did a little recording. And
oh, did you?
I may have stumbled upon my words, because I was like so stressed out. So I don't even know if it's good to clip or not.
That's all right. We'll use it if it's there.
So glad to be
settled
and get off this boat and take a shower. And the lady next door offered me a glass of wine. So
yeah, you're gonna take her up on that?
I will definitely be taking her up on that.
Hey.
Hey.
How was your day?
Today was insane.
Insane. Are you about to make a journal entry?
I am.
Yeah. What's it going to say? Just go ahead and tell everybody.
Today was insane.
Just put the date and then close the book.
Yep. That's it.
Well, you did good, babe.
You too. Man, that was a rough day.
That was a rough one. So we're tied up in Port Canaveral Yacht Club Marina. That's where we're at for the night, and we're just gonna relax. Crazy day, then we're gonna tackle this problem tomorrow. This is what it looks like out here. And it's bedtime. Oh, this is gonna be a close one. I don't know, guys, I'm getting a little worried. You're gonna really creep out a lot of pelicans if you hit that bridge. Yeah! That was no big deal, Tambi. What were you getting all worked up about?